Hello, I'm Savage Jim, and I've picked up a pair of compasses at a local Army-Navy surplus store. The one to the left is an original issue U.S. military-grade marching compass. The one to the right is a Chinese knockoff. Let us look at the USGI version first. As you can see, it has full marking. Of course, it's a U.S. issue, and you have the manufacturer's information stamped into the case. At the bottom you can see that this is made and produced in March of 1964. It is an all cast metal construction. On the back you do see a radioactive warning, and it does contain H3, radioactive H3 or tritium. Now, since this is 1964 and the making of this video is now 2015, the tritium has long expired its half-life and no longer functions. The tritium would be here and here, right above and below the wire, and also you would, if it were working, you would see tritium on the bezel line, and this dot right here also on the bezel piece, and also you would see tritium beginning to glow in the dark for the north indicator, the W and the E indicator. Now, the Chinese version, I do not know if it uses tritium, but going over the case very quickly, it's a much weaker metal, probably pot metal. This definitely has more weight than this, so this has either less dense metal or it's a lot thinner. This also does have glow-in-the-dark material here. I do not know if that's light induced, but it does glow in the dark, and so does the north indicator, the W, the E, and the S. The U.S. military-grade compass is not liquid-filled, and when you put the sight piece down, it locks the disc into place within the compass. This sight piece on the Chinese knockoff is all plastic. You could bend it with your thumb, where this you cannot. It is an actual metal construction. And it is also liquid filled, just like any other Chinese made knockoff of the USGI military marching compass. They are almost always liquid filled. I do not know of a Chinese knockoff that are not liquid filled like the USGI compasses. Now, the bezel on this, you do have a much longer line. You do have a piece of glass here which does provide some magnification, which is nice. Of course, the sight pieces on both of these are concaved, and they do, they're convex. They do provide some magnification. The Chinese one, the sighting line is not as sturdy as the military grade one. After being in service or being around since 1964, you would expect the wire to have frayed, degraded, rusted off. It hasn't. This Chinese one is brand new, but you could feel the tension in it is really weak. You could even see it move with just a slight pressure of my thumb. So I don't know what the material is. If it's like the rest of the casing, I really doubt that that's going to last even 5 years of field use whenever you go hiking or whatever, if you actually take it out and use it for its intended purpose. These are both graduated with the same U.S. military graduation. If I could get a good focus, okay, there it is. I like the military one a lot better. The stamping is a lot clearer than the Chinese knockoff one, and also you have paint starting to fill in, whereas this, the coating is very nice, even, and uniform. Now, the glass on this piece, the USGI compass I have, is starting to fade over, and and fog up. But what do you expect for a compass that's well over 30 years old? I'm pretty sure, of course, when it was freshly manufactured, is probably crisper than the glass on this Chinese piece. And this, I'm pretty sure, also has seen quite a bit of abuse. You can see that it's chipped, marked, and kicked around a whole lot, and it still functions to this day. You could still shoot a proper azimuth on it. As far as seeing your degrees on this, because of the fog over, it's not very possible, but you can still look down from the top and still see what your compass is reading. I'm pretty sure this can also, however, my criticism of the liquid fill is it takes a long time for the disc to move, and you do have to hold it exactly perpendicular to the floor. Otherwise, the disc will not turn. Even with the liquid fill, the disc will catch onto the bottom of the compass bowl, and thus not turn to the magnetic north where you need it to read, or just give you a reading altogether, because it gets caught up as it's trying to turn to magnetic north. And of course, the Chinese compass is completely devoid of all markings. Not even a marking of who made this and where in China it's made. I just know it's made in China because on the package it said it was. And even on the package it didn't say who made these compasses. So it's probably a conglomeration of a bunch of slave labor, Chinese factories all around, just stamping and mass manufacturing these compasses, and one purchaser buying from all of them and then just sticking them all into the same package. But that is my quick review between a proper USGI marching compass and a Chinese knockoff marching compass.